Tonight on Obscured Reality, join us as we hop on over to the great city of Las Vegas, the city of fun in the sun, and take a look at the mysterious lights that just appeared over the city. What could these lights be? Tourist helicopters over the strip? Aircraft flying into the local airport? Or could these be tourist UFOs from Zeta Reticuli? Come along with us and find out. Sit down, sit back, and relax, and join us on our journey through Obscured Reality.
Welcome to another episode of Obscured Reality. Join your hosts, Mark and Stephanie, as they take you through a journey of the extraordinary, bizarre, and often frightening world of the unknown. Explore topics of the paranormal, UFOs, alien abduction, lost civilizations, mythical monsters, and other unexplained mysteries. Come along with us as we transcend into another dimension of obscured reality.
Welcome back to Obscured Reality. I'm your obscure host, Mark, and your more obscure co-host, Stevie. I was going to say something else.
Me.
I was going to say something else, but I chose the higher route, which wasn't much higher. How you all doing out there? Got another quick story for you. This is going to be a short episode for you guys, but this is something that just came out recently in the last couple days. We are recording this on April 30th.
Yep.
Yeah. So this just happened. Mysterious lights over Las Vegas. Y'all want to see a video? Good.
Always.
Good, because I'm going to show you either way. Obviously, you guys, if you're watching us, you've probably already seen the video. In case you haven't, let me pull it up and let's see if we can get this working on Stevie's end here, because that is not correct. Hang on. Oh, I know what the problem is. What I learned last time?
What did you learn last time?
I learned last time I can't do full screen.
That's right.
Because if I do full screen, it screws it up for you.
Yes.
Which is weird. But
technology.
I'll see how I can do this here. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at this. This was Mysterious Lights over Las Vegas. Came out in the news, guys. In the news. This is big simply because of that. So let's take a look. There's audio. There's nothing to really hear, though, in the audio. So let's just take a look. Have you seen this yet, Stevie?
I have not. I'm about to make my screen bigger, too.
So just keep an eye on those lights. They do nothing, but keep an eye on them.
They do nothing, but keep an eye on them.
So I'm basically going to stop it here. All you need to see is the twinkling. They're not doing anything.
They're just hovering.
They're just hovering. But, I'll play it real quick. What I noticed, and I've seen this in other videos, look at the lights on the ground almost 100% directly below it, maybe a tad to the left. There's a similar formation of lights down there. Okay? You see the lights in the sky, the two in the middle that are together, almost directly below them, just a tad left of it. You kind of see the same thing down there. You also see to the left of that another light. You see the same thing on the ground to the left of the group on the ground, as well as kind of the one on the right. I'm not saying it's a reflection. What I'm saying is I have seen that in other videos. And I would think if it was a reflection, you'd be getting much more than
just those 4 lights. Yeah.
Just those 3 or 4 or however many lights that's supposed to be in the sky.
It looks like 4. Honestly, it looks like the front of a Jeep.
Yeah, it looks like 4. But there's also, I believe there might be some mountainous region in the background. I'm not 100% sure, but there's an airport nearby. You see planes flying. You see a flashing light there coming under.
Yeah. I was about to point that little guy out. Yeah.
They're close to the airport, and there's another plane.
Yep. But this entire time, these lights haven't moved. They haven't gotten brighter. They haven't gotten more dim.
Right.
If it was a plane coming in, it would be just one light.
Well, no.
I mean, they have
not 100%. Not 100%. true.
I mean, they have the lights on the side, but they have one really big, bright landing light.
Our local airport here, um, they come in over the mountains just behind this mountain range,
Mhm,
and then they make their last turn onto final approach.
mhm.
And when you're driving on the freeway, they come right over the freeway and land at this airport
Cool.
right here.
That's
You
really
look out
cool.
to the right, and if it's a busy time for these commercial airliners, they all have their landing lights on.
It's true, yeah, you can
You
see
can
them in
see
a
a trail
line.
going out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
That
you could be
looks
looking at
different
something like that
than
here.
that,
No, I
though.
know it
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
I'm just saying in response to your
Mm,
comment.
mm,
But this guy had said in the video, he's like, "At first, I thought these were planes, and then I realized they're just staying there, and you see clearly other planes."
mhm,
And, he's like, "I got the video camera." And they stayed there for a period of time, and then he said they disappeared. Unfortunately, as with most every goddamn story, it's lacking detail. Give me a goddamn reporter who interviews this guy and actually gets some freaking detail, guys. Okay, you said they disappeared. How did they disappear?
yeah, in what manner have they
Did
disappeared?
did
Did they just
did
poof
the lights
gone
just
or
go out there? If
Mhm,
they stayed in that spot and disappeared, did they slowly fade out? When they did it change color? Or did the lights just go "Pink," gone? Or did it appear as if they shot off across the sky at a gazillion miles an hour?
mhm.
We need to know if
In
this is legit. Give us the detail.
in my few experiences that I've had with UAPs in the sky, like, they just shot off.
Right.
Now, I'll talk about
But
those on another show, but, like, the thing is that
here,
these were also, like, over a decade ago, so the details are
yeah.
lacking.
Yeah, I want to point out something. You look at this and then you look at something like the Phoenix Lights. Are you familiar with the
I
Phoenix Lights,
am,
Stevie?
actually, yeah.
Okay.
They're similar.
Here's the difference, at least as of today. And this just came out like yesterday, right? And I
Mhm,
think it's because he posted this online. I don't think this is something big. This is just something he posted, right?
probably, yeah.
Here's the difference. This is a major city. He said these appeared to him to possibly be over the strip area. Okay. Keeping in mind, number one, they're just lights. Look how low they are on the horizon. Technically, those could be out in space. If they are, they're super duper far away, which means they're also redonkulously bright. Bright
Mhm,
to a
mhm,
fathom we are unaware of, right? Other than the sun. They could be 10 feet in front of his face and be a little tiny, almost microscopic bug that we've never seen before that lights up, right? And the light would appear that bright because it's 10 feet in front of your face.
mhm,
It could
mhm.
be a mile away.
And be a
The point is
helicopter.
the point is we're only seeing a light,
Mhm.
so you can't judge distance
Distance.
very accurately.
Yes.
However, from my own experience with a couple instances like this, you do get a feeling very quickly of about how far it is, which is weird. But again, that's just because of the size of the light, the brightness of the light. You're automatically assuming that. Your brain's going to that, which is
Mhm,
fine.
mhm,
But I want to point out something big. Well, I don't know about big, but between this and Phoenix Lights, both over major cities, clearly right by the airports,
mhm.
the Phoenix Lights was a mass goddamn sighting, right? You had tons of people saying, "What the hell are those?" You have multiple videos, people saying, "What the hell is that?" Unless we get that with this, which I'm not seeing yet,
Yeah.
then the jury is, I'm not going to say out or not 100%, but what I'm going to say is I'm probably going to lean a little more towards BS. And I'm not saying it is BS. I mean, I don't
But
know
how
that
are
if I
you the
got
only
video
one in Vegas to have seen this in a
and that's
recording?
a and that's the thing, and that's been pointed out before, not with this,
Mhm.
but with other stories is, well, everyone in Vegas, they're doing their thing, and you're assuming that you're just talking about people on the strip. Of course, they're not looking up.
There
It's these
are
people that live out in the hills that get a good
Yeah.
view over the whole area. You're still going to get a bunch of them
Yeah.
seeing this shit.
Yeah. I mean, you live in the hills for a reason. You
Hmm.
live there because you enjoy the view. especially like when I lived in California.
Or you enjoy
I
being away from the mass amounts of people.
that too. Like when I lived in California, I actually the only part of living there that I enjoyed was the sky. I would just stop and stare at the sky all the time
Yeah,
because of just the beauty of it and the fact that like I was far enough out where I could look into the light pollution and see like a really cool, city skyline with like the mountains,
right.
whatever. But I was far enough out where if I looked the other way towards the Air Force Base, Edwards, I believe, um, I
I
could
think it is,
literally
yeah.
point out every single constellation to you, and I could even
Yeah.
on some nights, I even saw the legitimate, like, Milky Way, like, that little oh god, it was so beautiful. So, like,
Yeah,
who there is definitely more than one person looking at the sky when you are out
right?
that far. That's the
Well,
whole reason of living out there.
the thing is someone's gonna notice this more
Yes,
than just one person, and
yes.
they're not all gonna pull out their phones or cameras and record it, but
But
more than one person's
it
gonna
is
report it.
2023, like,
Yeah, and
Gen
the thing with
Zers,
Phoenix
millennials, and Gen Xers all record things. Maybe not the
yeah,
boomers, but the rest of us all do.
y yeah, but, yeah, I'd
Mm-mm.
question if any of them have any clue what they're seeing in the sky.
Look, I don't even wanna talk about that.
No comment.
Oof.
But, the thing with Phoenix Lights is
Mhm.
you have numerous people calling in saying, yeah, there's some weird ass lights in the sky. Law enforcement getting inundated with calls. You have air traffic controllers seeing the shit. You have pilots coming into the airport, leaving the airport seeing this shit. You're having air traffic control notifying aircraft of these lights. Keep an eye out.
Mm.
We don't know what the hell's going on. Here, at least so far, this didn't come out as a mass sighting. This is just a guy who
So
posted this
so
video
interesting.
online. So, you know, who knows? It looks legit to me, at least that there's lights there in the sky. It doesn't, if he were inside going through a window, I'd have to question it as a
Mhm.
reflection from
Yeah.
inside the home,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know. But I don't know. I mean, we got to wait a decent interval here and see, does this really, I mean, this was in the news, of course,
yeah. Mhm.
but we need to see, is more getting reported on this? Do we have video, anything taken from anyone else, anywhere else,
Mhm.
possibly? That's the stuff that's really going to matter. Until then, this is not much different than if I were to post a video, if I even had one of the major one that I saw over here. It'd be nothing different. Post it online and anyone can say anything,
Mhm.
you know? But I have seen videos where you're you're looking at a lens
Flare.
glare, a lens reflection
Yeah,
of the
lens
lights
flares.
that it's seeing, and when you watch this video, you are seeing somewhat of a twinkling effect that's
Yes.
similar to the twinkling effect on the ground of the, I'm going to back it up a tad bit here. You are seeing a similar color and a similar twinkling effect as to what's on the ground. However, keep in mind this guy's probably pretty far away. There's probably a lot of smog or haze, and that's what's causing a lot of that, right? But
Yeah.
you are seeing the similarity with some of the things on the ground. I mean, I
But
don't
if it was
study
a
this stuff.
reflection, there would be more, I just feel like.
Yeah, I can't say this is a reflection off the camera lens or anything
Mm-mm.
or off anything else, but you see this airplane come into view right there, and you're not seeing that reflect another light somewhere.
Right.
Doesn't mean it would or wouldn't, but if it were from the ground, I would think you'd be seeing a lot more than just those particular lights. So I think they're there. Now it's a question of what's in the background there. I believe there might be some mountains. I could be wrong. If there are, who's to say it's
They
not up
they look
there?
like
It's pretty bright if
more
it is.
they look like just more lights, like possible smaller planes flying around because 'cause they're at a lower like, maybe Cessnas, because they do fly
Yeah,
at
but
a lower level.
they don't
What
move.
is this?
They don't move. They just stay there. That's the thing.
Was
So
that an ad? 'Cause I was kinda
I don't
curious.
know, but the people you're talking to aren't gonna see it, so they don't have a clue what you're saying.
It was an ad, and it was, like, 2 super cute kids, and dad was going fishing with them, and then he took it away
Nah,
from me. The
nah.
wholesomeness of it all.
Yeah, so I don't know, and I will say, looking at those lights, given his distance,
Mhm.
that brightness you saw, would you agree or disagree that those are pretty bright?
Oh, yeah, but it definitely looked like they
Okay.
were farther away than that plane was, because it looks like the plane, like,
Well,
passed
yeah, yeah,
over
yeah.
them.
No,
So,
definitely.
like, I can
But do they
understand
look bright to
why.
you?
Yes, but I do also understand
Okay.
why he thinks they're over the strip just based on
Yeah,
that plane. But yes,
of
they
course.
were
Yeah.
definitely abnormally bright. Like, that was those were
So
bright.
that brightness you saw, that's like the brightness of the light I saw here, one of them. But the one I saw was just a bright white light.
No twinkling?
However, at the end of my story, after this thing disappeared and reappeared at the same speed, blah, 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 we get to the end of my story
Mhm.
where this light comes to a dead stop in the sky, just moving at whatever speed it is and just book, stop. Once it stopped over the next 3 to 5 seconds, it
Mhm.
slowly faded away and it turned those colors, the lighter orange, darker orange, and then just gone.
Hmm.
It looked similar colors. However, the main chunk of my sighting, it was like that bright, very super bright. Never seen that bright in the sky before, other than the night sun on a police helicopter. But that's different.
The
Super bright
all-seeing
white
eye.
light, you
Oh
know?
my god, dude, that thing is the brightest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life.
Yeah, yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, this just came out. Time will tell. We'll see. I will be much more convinced of something. I don't know what. If more stories about this particular event come out, especially with videos or pictures, and we see that this is a Phoenix Lights type sighting, then we're talking. Until then, it's just odd and take it for what it is, and hopefully more comes out. But
So,
we have to point out very important piece of information. What's right next to Vegas, guys? The Nellis Test and Training Range, the NTTR, the state sized swath of land that the government owns and Area 51 lies on. And according to Bob Lazar, so does S4. Alien craft, secret craft we don't know about that we're already inventing, that type of shit. And Phoenix Lights, guess what? They came from this area. A lot of people might not know that because that's not a lot of that's not in the story. They originated up around this area. If you look at the line they traveled, it came over Vegas. It came probably from the NTTR.
how far away is Phoenix from Vegas?
We can look real quick. Might
Because
be good if we're
just out of
mentioning it.
yeah, I was kind of curious about how far of a distance that is. So real fast, that
Mm-hmm.
actually, so I've never brought this up because I never actually thought that it could have been anything paranormal, just
Uh huh.
because in the area and direction that it happened, obviously, like I said, I live by Edwards. So I just kind of assumed it was like a plane or something, because
Right.
they would fly over even our area. I want to say southeast of the bottom part of Edwards, if not directly south of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they would fly their massive, planes over us super, super slow, like to the
Yeah.
point where I'm like, how is that even in the sky? And I mean, like these are like the cargo planes, like the C-200, whatever the fuck they're called. Um,
Massive wingspans, a lot of
oh,
lift.
dude, like the fact that this thing can just
A-
like hover in the sky is amazing. But anyways,
angle has a lot to do with it too. You got to remember,
this is
depending
true.
on the angle
Yeah.
and how and where it's
Well, they would
flying,
always
it can look different.
Yeah, they would fly over us a lot, actually. They'd fly very low, and they'd also fly their drones and chase them with planes. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah. So those
But
C-130s,
yeah,
some of them
that's what they are.
they install rockets on the sides, on the
Mhm,
backs
mhm.
for ridiculously short takeoffs. I remember seeing it once as a kid at an air show. They did it. Oh my god, the
Honestly,
noise from these rockets.
Jesus, those are honestly my favorite planes, just because of like the
Yeah.
massiveness. Like, other than the Beluga, biggest planes in the sky.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you already know, going north on 395,
Mhm.
they're just outside of Hellendale. Just north of that is a Flying J. And there's a little bit of mountains over there. It's more like ranges. They're not so much mountains, but they're small ranges.
Mhm.
Um, we were at our one of our properties that we had. that's literally on the Bernardino LA County line on Bernardino side.
Right.
And we were looking up towards that particular flying J in that area. And I like actually it was Anthony who noticed it. And he was because he wants to see a UFO so bad. And I've seen
Come
I
out here, man. Stay here for a year. You might.
I mean we were out there, but that's why I'm
It's
bringing
just
this
gonna
up.
be. Well, where you are is different than where I'm at.
Well, true, but
I've never seen shit until I moved
hey,
here,
look,
ever.
I've seen 3. I will talk about those at a different time. I've seen 3, but like I said, it was over a
You
decade
told me
ago.
you had no personal stories, man.
Because I can't tell you enough details to
Man.
make a show. I can't. I swear to God, I can't even remember one of the states that I saw it in. All I know, I think I know, but I'm not too sure because I did
We'll
a
see if we can
lot of
put it together
mushrooms
later. Yeah.
as a
Oh
kid.
God.
So I mean, I lived with
That's
hippies.
that's we should tell it, and that's an important thing to bring up. No, honestly, that is something important to bring
Yeah,
up
no, well, I
because
mean, I wasn't
you
doing
know,
mushrooms at the time. I've just done a lot of mushrooms over the course of the years, and I have
yeah.
forgotten a lot of things. Either way, so back
Oh,
and like I
okay.
said, all these things happened to me over a decade ago because it was when I was traveling and I spent a lot more time outside 'cause of the
Yeah,
Renaissance Fair, and I would see things more because I was outside more at night. So
right.
versus now where I'm like, oh shit, it's 9 o'clock, I'm going to bed. Like, so anyways, back to what Anthony saw. He was like, "Hey, babe, come look at this," and I was like, "All right." And it was a bright orange light that was just hovering over what would have been um the final ridge that you drive over before you come down the ridge side into
Okay.
whatever little town that is that has the Flying J.
Hmm.
Um and we were staring at it and I was like, "Man," I was like, "Nah, it has to be like car lights or something coming over the ridge because we could
Sounds like
see
a
the road."
flare, maybe.
That's what I was thinking, and I was like, whatever, whatever. Actually, that could have been a really good idea. But the thing is, though,
Those flares look like they're floating.
it's
They
true.
have some technology
However,
on
we
them.
never saw any headlights in its vicinity because it's a two-way road. And it's a very
Wait,
well-traveled road.
where was the light in the sky?
It looked like it was hovering over one of the ridges,
Okay, so
but it was
why did you
so
mention
dark.
headlights then?
Because that was the ridge in which 395 crosses over before you get into the Flying J. So I
Okay.
was thinking maybe it was like headlights or something, or it was a car
Okay.
on fire. Don't
Up
ask.
high.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
But because like it was dark enough where I could barely see the ridge line. Because like I
Yeah.
said, it gets dark out there. Um, but then it never actually like went away, and we watched it for a solid like 10 minutes, and then it finally just kind of like blipped and gone. But I never thought I never thought of it to be like anything paranormal or
Right.
alien-esque
Yeah.
because of
A lot
Edward's
of people don't.
yeah.
You don't know.
But after the lights and your experience and the color, it just made me think of it. And it's like, maybe that actually was something to be questioned because I just
Right.
assumed that it was something to do with 395 even though technically 395 wasn't like didn't cross the ridge at that location of the light. It crossed it at a different
Yeah.
part on the ridge.
Yeah.
So but then again there are houses everywhere, but like we never saw it again. It was just a one-time thing.
Right. Yeah, and
But who
that's the
knows?
thing.
It may have actually been something. I may have to apologize to him and be like, look, you were right.
It might have been, and that's the thing you don't know. Here's
Yeah.
what I say. If you see anything weird that you think is weird in the
Mhm.
sky, it's just a light at night. Typically it'd be at night, but watch it. Pull out pull out your phone and take video.
We
Don't
tried. It was so far away we
don't
couldn't.
don't zoom in on it. Zoom in enough, but you want to keep points of reference in view. If your video, if the light is too high in the sky where you can't get any points of reference on the ground, don't even take video unless other stars are in the background visible in the
That's right.
video. If they're not, don't bother wasting your time with the video because it's going to be pointless.
Yeah.
You're going to zoom in so far that it's shaky and you can't tell anything. If you're zoomed out
Blair
and
Witch
there's no
style.
points of references, it's still the same thing. Only take video if you have other stars in the background or points of reference on the ground.
Yeah, video wouldn't have
Take
helped
it,
in this instance.
prop your body up against something solid, and try to hold your device, whatever it is, as steady as you can, and watch and just see what it does and see if it really is. We all know what airplanes look like when
Oh,
they
yeah.
fly, even at night.
Yep.
It's straight lines,
That's
blah,
why
blah, blah.
that's why after a while I was like, "Okay, what's going on?" Like, that's why we sat and watched it for
Yeah.
so long, but I couldn't take a video. It was so dark that it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
And it was a small enough point where the camera really didn't pick it up, but you could see it with your naked
Yeah.
eye.
Well, this is like Bob Lazar's video.
Mhm.
He has a video he took from supposedly back in the day, before he brought his story out to George Knapp. He took 3 or 4 people out to the desert in Nevada by Nellis, and because he supposedly knew the, test schedule of these discs, and they have it on video. They have the light on video, and you can hear his good friend John Lear is there. And I don't let me go off on too much of a tangent here because there's a lot that is
I'll
going
stop you,
through this
don't worry.
head,
I'll stop you.
and I have a really good theory. If his story's fabricated, I have a good theory, and that theory indicates that he may not have come up with a story or may not have come up with the entirety of the story. But he's got this video. Now, when they're standing out there, even though it's pitch black, they may be able to see the silhouette of the mountain range at Groom Lake.
Mhm.
However, when you take video of it, you are not going to get the silhouette.
Okay, I
It's
understand
just pitch
that.
black.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
just pitch black.
totally
So
understand that. That
so
was
the
my
only thing you can
situation.
really the only thing you can really do then is have a decent camera, not an iPhone, but an actual good camera,
Yeah.
put it on a tripod, and take an open exposure shot. Why?
Yes.
I did this recently when we had one of our last fires in a canyon right along the coast here. I went down there and I got some bitchin' pictures of a gazillionaire's mansion burning
I
down.
gotta see this, but I totally understand the long exposure
Well,
concept.
so here's the thing. One fire helicopter stayed dropping some water at night because there was just some little hot spots left at this point. And
How long ago was
he,
this?
I don't know, a year or so.
Oh, okay.
I could tell you by looking at the metadata,
I
but
was gonna say because
um,
like the whole fire.
so he was landing on the top of the canyon on the other side to fill up from the trucks that come out to bring the water to fill them up. He was landing over there. So I threw my thing on the tripod and well, already was. And I took an open exposure of him once I heard him powering up,
Mhm.
and I'd open the exposure and got him coming down, coming around, and then coming around and dumping and flying back
Dude,
up.
I
So
wanna
it's
see
cool.
this. This sounds so
Yeah,
awesome. I wanna see this.
it's cool because you don't see the helicopter. It's night, right?
Yeah,
But what you
you
have is
the light blurred
the
line.
whole path of travel,
Mhm.
and you have each flash of light. And helicopters have a lot of strobes,
Yes, they do.
and you have each flash of light and then a fading out streak, flash of light, fading out streak. It's pretty cool.
Dude,
Um,
yeah,
I'll see
okay.
if I can find it real quick. I can show all you guys. But here, you asked me about Phoenix.
Mhm.
So here's a map.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I'm gonna put a dot. That dot, that's Phoenix, right?
Hold up. Okay, yeah, I see it.
And the new dot,
That's
this is
not
Vegas.
okay, wait, no, that's far.
That's far.
That's
It's
far.
far. And
I had
good
to
to
look at
point
other
out
points of reference real fast.
good to point out, this new dot up here, that's where the NTTR is, all that area up there. It's directly above Vegas. Like, it starts,
Yeah.
like, down here, real close to Vegas, so keep that in mind as well, you know? Um,
Oh,
that plays an
man.
important role with the
Yeah.
Phoenix Lights because the angle, the path of travel from all the cities that the Phoenix Lights were reported in leads you right to and past Vegas on a direct line straight into the Nellis Test and Training Range. Straight into there. Mhm.
Quack
and this
quack.
thing and this thing went all the way down into Mexico.
If it looks like a duck, talks like a duck.
Yeah.
Quack quack.
Well, it's a duck.
It's a duck.
Unfortunately, it's usually what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull up my photos real quick. I'm gonna see if I can find this thing really quick. Make this
Yes,
fast.
please. I really want to see this damn photo.
You guys will like this. And actually, during this fire, the mansion, I happened to get the picture of it. It's a really cool picture too. This was the mansion that was already photographed and put in the news for this fire burning. And I think my picture is way better. You'll see what I mean when I find it here.
Sure. Man, okay, so yeah, with the Phoenix Lights, with the travel path, like that's still
Mhm.
really far. That is really far. But at the same time, if you're testing out like the range, I guess, of or I guess a test flight, I'm
Mhm.
it's not that long of a flight to go from 1 to 2. So I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like flight path
Well,
wise for like a test of new technology.
yeah, well, keep in mind with the Phoenix
Yeah, I
Lights,
guess.
those were seen from
All the way down.
Nevada,
Yeah.
around Vegas, like
Yeah,
Henderson,
that's what I'm saying.
all the way down to
Dang.
Mexico. It went from the
Mexico.
north. It went from the northwest portion of Arizona, which is leading right into Vegas, down to the southeastern portion of Arizona and out. And there was a report in Mexico. It was seen
Okay,
down there.
that's not that far still. Like, okay, so technically speaking, when you're in an airplane, you go a lot faster than if you
Fuck
were
are you
driving.
smoking?
Oh my god. I mean, how far, like, how long of an airplane ride is it from Vegas to Phoenix? Like, actual time in the
Yeah,
sky.
I don't know. Here, I'll show you guys some pictures here.
But I mean, also
See
this
see see what you think
new
here.
technology. I'm sure the alien technology is probably faster, so it's
Yeah.
that's
So
what.
here's the mansion on fire,
Oh wow! Oh, that's so
and
sad.
it's I can't point it out because you can't see the pointer, but it's the that part that's orange from the fire in the bottom, kind of right. That whole like facade you see,
Yeah,
that was the mansion, and all the colorful lights is from emergency vehicles back there on that road.
that's really cool.
And then
Oh, I
here,
remember those moon pictures. I remember those when you put those up.
uh, here's kind of the canyon down there. There was some hot spots. And the opposite side of that canyon is where the helicopter was landing to get the water.
Mhm.
And let's see here. There's another open exposure you can tell from the airplane in the sky.
Mhm.
Not a big deal. I'm just trying to find the other one. It's right around here. Here's one of the ones. I don't know where the other one is, but this is one of the open exposures. So the bright green lights you see down there aren't really green. Those are firefighters, fire crew that's on the ground chopping up brush and trying to put these hot spots out.
That's so
And
awesome.
they would light up the spot when the helicopter was ready. When it took off and came down, they would light up the area for it to see, drop here, right? But I have a better picture. I'm not showing it in here. I don't know where it's at.
Huh. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah,
The only thing
yeah,
I
it's
ever saw was a fire helicopter dropping the red retardant down a ridge line. That's
yeah.
that was. I mean, honestly, that was
The
kind of cool.
Foz check.
It was right below Canyon Pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Here's a sunset close to our house here.
See,
You got the ocean out there in the background. Hard to see, but
this
you
is the
have it
part
out
of
there.
California that I actually miss is the sky and the sunsets and like the mountains. I do miss the scenery a lot. I don't miss the scorpions, the snakes, the heat, the sand.
Well, yeah, that was a completely different part of California where you get
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit. You don't get that here.
Well,
So
it's a
here,
little more expensive.
yeah, well, that's nothing.
I love
Yeah.
fireworks. Was
So
I taken with a drone?
yeah, I thought it was one of my open exposures, which was really cool. The open exposures I took of the fireworks
Uh,
were those are awesome. Um, these are not them.
Still,
I
drone pictures of fireworks are pretty awesome.
yeah, no, they are.
I always enjoy when you post your photography.
I've you know I've been so busy. Oh, here's an open exposure of the fireworks. So those are like 4, 5, 6 different fireworks. One goes up, boom, and then another boom, 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 boom. That's an open exposure right there. Awesome.
That is
Those are
so
awesome.
detailed and clear. That's aw
Well,
so
it's a good camera. It's
yeah.
not it's
What kind
not
of camera
just
do
an
you use?
iPhone.
Oh,
I
sure.
have a Fuji X Pro 1, so it's the first model in their X Pro line, and I will soon be getting a newer version,
Do you
which is
have,
gonna
like,
be like, look at that.
extendable, like, lenses on it, or is it just stock
I
lens
have a
like you
tele
use?
I have a, smaller lens. I also have a
Mhm,
telescopic lens.
mhm.
Um, Now it's only a 300 millimeter lens, so that doesn't get you too far, but, I can show you an example if I can find one in here of what that's gonna get you. Hey, if you guys are still hanging on watching this at this point, props, man.
I feel like
Send you money.
I feel like since we, like, literally just recorded, last week's episode, this is kinda like the show after the show. If you watch Good Mythical
Yeah,
Morning, this is definitely Good Mythical More, but
hey, you
us.
get to see some cool pictures.
Yeah, just us hanging, talking about life, about something about on topic once in a while.
Well well, these moon ones, these are with the telescopic lens.
God, oh see, this is what I need to, like, buy myself is
Yeah, these are with the telescopic lens. Now, moonshots aren't easy. I've tried to
no.
do them on a different occasion, and they didn't quite turn out like that. Because you gotta remember, the moon is moving,
Yes.
and, so are we, and so is everything else. Some of these were with it. I'll show you. So this is our local mountain range that was on fire,
Mhm.
and the antenna station's up there. That's with the telescopic lens. Now, that looks like that for a reason because it's edited,
Mhm.
but I edited it to look like that, because it wasn't a great picture, but it looks better like this. However, we have
I see one that you edited.
others.
I wish I could, like, point to it. Oh,
There we
oh,
go. There's a good one from the
yeah.
telescopic.
Mm,
There's a very good one. You can see one of the fire airplanes up there.
hmm.
So it depends, and that's only a 300 millimeter lens. But the thing is, those lenses are so. Oh, here's an open exposure. A street by my house. Cars going by. Yeah, I did an open exposure real quick, and a couple cars went by, one on each side. I was like, "Oh yeah, that looks cool." Here's one turning out of our track onto the street. You can see the curve.
Yeah. Mm, man, okay. So, I'm
It's pretty
officially
cool.
this is gonna sound crazy. I'm officially a dink house, which means double income, no kids. Dinks. Um, and this is officially like the first big purchase I'm gonna make for myself is a
Yeah,
camera like that because I have been desperately wanting to take better pictures and like
spend the money. Don't get used. You don't want this equipment used.
oh
Don't get
no, for
old. Get
sure.
new.
Definitely.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the telescope. If you go Fuji
Mm,
and you go their X line,
mm,
they have a few different lines of cameras that fall within the X range. Their X lenses fit with all of them. The reason I mention that is because you can get a 300 millimeter telescopic or telephoto lens, which isn't insanely telephoto, but it's telephoto. It zooms in a bit,
mm.
quite a bit. You can get that lens for about it's brand new, $800. That sounds like a lot. However, when you look at every other 300 millimeter telephoto lens, it's a lot more than that. You want more telephoto than that, you're talking 2,000 a lens, which is stupid.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's insane. So that's why I say go with Fuji. Fuji's
Mm.
good, and you can get the 300 millimeter lens for $800 brand new, which is very good. I have it. It has a image stabilization in the lens as well, which is good. But you look up the reviews on it when this thing first came out too, dude. This is a bitchin' lens. It's great.
Man, yeah, because I need to
I'll
have something like serious and
yeah.
like that before I go
Hmm.
on my next international trip because I will be damned if I'm stuck
Yeah.
taking fucking iPhone 12 photos again. Now, granted, I'll probably have a 15
Yeah.
by that point because I will be upgrading, but When
Yeah.
oh god, I've seen some of the pictures like 14s can take, and honestly blown away, but still not to the point of like yours. And that's why I'm like, as much as I want to rely on just my phone, it's obviously not happening.
Uh-huh. Well, let me ask you a question.
That's pretty.
Well, you know what? I'll show you these offline. That way we can wrap up the recording here. But I'll show you these offline. I'll post some theories to you. So, guys, tell us what the hell you think these mysterious lights over Vegas are. If you're even hearing me right now, because you already tuned out. But hopefully, I threw some really cool pictures up for you, and you can see them and like them, and that kept you hanging on. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Um, personal story again, obscuredr1@gmail.com. If you have a personal story, something weird, an oddity, paranormal, UFO, UAP, USO, you work on a military submarine or you used to, and you know about the fast movers, send us an email. We will tell your story. You can come on and tell it, whatever. Hit the bell. I don't know what it does. Stevie knows. Hit the goddamn bell.
That goddamn bell and be notified every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. or 5 p.m. Pacific that another episode is dropped. So hit that bell, fuckers.
Bling bling. There you go. And let us know down below what you think these lights are. Real, fake, reflection, UFOs, whatever. And with that, we're going to catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check back with us often for new episodes. Feel free to drop a comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Obscured Reality.